I'm excited to share how to make tonjiru, which literally translates to pork soup. So it's basically miso soup with all the veggies, pork, and additional ingredients. This is one of my favorite soup dishes to eat during winter. It's so cozy and in my opinion, it's a pinnacle of Japanese home cooking, and it's super easy. Most of the ingredients you can get at Japanese or Asian grocery store in the US. So first, what you need is, of course, pork. And I normally use pork loin or pork butt, but I feel like most people use pork belly because it has good fat content. But I feel like pork belly has too much fat for tonjiru, so I usually use pork loin or pork butt. Half pound. For veggies, I normally use green scallions, 3 stokes, and baby carrots, like around 15, and a third of a pound of daikon radish, and 5 or so of shiitake. In Japan, people normally put gobo, bardock, but it's very long and it's hard to carry, and you have to wash it and peel it, and so I normally skip it. But like if you have gobo, you should definitely put that in. It gives a good dashi, which is actually flavor in Japanese. And I also put konnyaku, which is made of Japanese yam. It has interesting texture. It's very stringy, and it's almost like jelly. It doesn't have a lot of calories, so like 5 calories per 2 ounce or something. People in Japan for on diet tend to eat more konnyaku dishes. And also, same as like other miso soup, you need dashi. Like I normally use this dashi stock, or they have packets that are in bags, like tea bags, that you can put in hot water. You can also use that. And also miso is a must because it's a miso based soup. Yeah. This is what I normally use, but feel free to put more veggies. For example, when I have moyashi bean sprouts, I put that in, or hakusai napa cabbage, or aburage, which is fried tofu or bean curd. And you can also put other kinds of mushrooms, which gives good flavor. Some people put potatoes, other Japanese root vegetables like daikon or... Okay, so for veggies, or actually everything in tonjiru, you cut in bite sizes. I'll start with daikon radish. So this is already washed, and this is a third of a pound. And first you take off the skin. Then you cut in like a 1/4 inch. And then cut them like this in round shape, or it's already round. Oops. And you cut them in 1/4 or so. This is called ichogiri in Japanese. Icho is ginkgo, so it's like ginkgo leaf. Then baby carrots. I just cut them in sideways, like the same thickness about around the same thickness as daikon radishes. And shiitake. So you cut the stems out. And if you like the texture, you can cut it in big, or also like this is for flavor, so you can cut it small in small sizes as well. For green onions too, basically bite sizes. I like to cut them like this size because I'm gonna put them on heat for a while. So if you cut too small, they become you can't see them anymore. So for konnyaku, a lot of Japanese cooking recipe for tonjiru says you should put in hot water or boil it for a little bit so that it doesn't have strong smell. Honestly, for me, like after I cook them, I don't really notice the smell, so I don't put in hot water or anything. And then you can cut this with knife, obviously, but for some reason, or a lot of people use your hands or like a glass like this and cut it in bite size. This way, konnyaku absorbs more soup, so it tastes better, in my opinion. And it's kind of fun not using knife, so. Yeah, tonjiru is one of my favorite recipes during winter, but also my dad's, and my mom used to make them a lot, and while I was living with my parents, and my husband also loves it. And when I make it, I make a lot, and I think for this amount it normally lasts 2 days or 3. So you don't have to cook every day, and that's kind of nice too. So for pork too, you cut them in bite sizes like this. As long as they're small, doesn't really matter. In a big pot, you heat sesame oil, and it's like medium heat. And then when the aroma starts to come out, you put pork. Oh, stir fry the pork until it's mostly cooked. Then put in hard vegetables, daikon and ninjin, carrots, and konnyaku, which take longer to cook. Oh, and I normally use sesame oil because it has a good flavor, but it can be vegetable oil, or I think olive oil is fine. After you put a lot of water, miso, dashi, you can't really taste olive oil, so when daikon starts to become translucent, I put the rest of the veggies. So when green onions and shiitake mushroom look like it's starting to cook, you put 4 cups of water. So this is 800 milliliters, so I need 200 more. And 2 tablespoons of dashi powder. 1, 2. And mix it a bit. Put the lid on and cook on medium heat until the veggie gets soft. Vegetables get soft, you put 2.5 tablespoons of miso, and you put it in the ladle and you dilute it with mixing it, and you do this until it's completely dissolved. So when miso is dissolved, it looks like this, and it's said that when miso is too heated, the flavor goes away or it's ruined, so you don't want to make the pot like super boiling or overheated. This looks great, so let's dig in. This is how it looks like when it's made. Ooh, looks good. So that's konnyaku, carrots, pork, nice and soft, and daikon is translucent.